Well, the okra's coming up pretty good. I finally can tell what is okra and what was weeds. So I pulled all the weeds in this side, and I think it's pretty good. I got 17. I planted 20 holes. I had 20 holes for okra seeds, and 17 of those holes came up. And some of them, even have 2 plants in them. So I'm gonna have to transplant those. And I've got a little extra room right here because I moved those potatoes over, as you can see. And also I've got room over here. I just haven't pulled the weeds on this side. I've got the 3 squash plants over there. And I'm probably going to pull this thing up. I don't even know what it is, but it's blocking that squash plant. And this thing's kind of blocking this other squash plant. So I might pull both of those big, whatever they are, up. And obviously I'll probably pull these weeds up. I just haven't gotten to it yet. I just finished pulling all the weeds around the squash plants, and I pulled all the weeds over here around the okra plants. And I might let these grow a little bit taller before I start moving them around, because I don't want them to die right after I transplant them. I haven't decided yet. I'll probably pull these weeds before I decide. That way I'll have somewhere to transplant them where they'll have plenty of room to grow. And they're not going to have a lot of room if I don't pull up these, especially that squash plant over there. If I don't pull this plant up, there's not going to have a lot of room to grow. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. But the important thing is I got all the weeds away from these okra plants because they were getting a little crowded out. Some of them were a little crowded. They weren't getting enough sun. So now, hopefully they'll grow taller. And see, like this one, that one's a small little, I don't know if that'll even survive, small little thing. And I'm kind of torn on using Sevin Dust because, they say that might cause cancer and whatever. But as you can see, these potatoes have been eaten up with bugs. And I'm not sure if I'm going to use Sevin Dust or not. I kind of mounted some of this dirt up on top of the potatoes just so they don't get any sunburn or sun poison or whatever they call that. They say your potatoes aren't supposed to be in the sun. I'm going to finish pulling this weed bed over here, and I might transplant some okra plants maybe today or maybe sometime this week. The weeds are now up, and as you can see, I got that one little plant up. Now, as for this one, it's a little deeper. It's got some must be deep roots because I can't get it up. I dug almost to the bottom of this raised bed, and I still couldn't get it up. So I think I'll just cut it off. If I can even get I don't know if I can get anything around that. I might have to just cut the top of it off so it's not blocking sunlight for that squash plant. But now I got this area free. I'll probably move some of these little okra plants over. Maybe after they get a few days older. Maybe another week or 2, I don't know. I want them to be able to survive after I transplant them. So I don't want to do it too early. But I like the way things are looking. I'm glad this okra's coming up. I'll have to count how many plants I have in total. I just planted 28, I just counted 28 okra plants. And I think I planted about 40 seeds of the new seeds. As you know, as I mentioned in the previous video about gardening, I think I don't even know how many seeds I planted the first time, but they were some that I had frozen myself, and they were really not great quality seeds because I don't think I dried them properly like you're supposed to before I froze them, and they weren't very good quality, so none of those came up. So all of these okra plants that have started are the ones that I bought from the store about 2 years ago, I think, and I've had them in the freezer since then, and they came up great because I got 28 out of 40 seeds that I planted. So that's over half, which is, I think that's pretty good. Now I'm just going to, I'll probably leave, I was going to say I'll probably leave this at 20 okra plants on this side and put the rest, the other 8 over there. That way it won't be too crammed together. Because I had planted 20, I had 20 holes, 20 spots for okra plants over here. And see, I didn't plant them up here because I had the potatoes over here. But see, now I pushed them over that way. So I might transplant a couple right here. Although I don't want to get them too close. I don't think it'll matter, honestly. Those potatoes are looking a little rough anyway. But I can definitely get 8 okra plants over here without interfering with the squash too much. I think that squash will get pretty big. I'm not an expert at growing squash. It's been a while since I've seen the squash plants. We had some squash plants a few years ago, but I don't remember exactly how big they got. So I guess I'll find out if these survive. But I know about okra plants better than anything, because that's, as you saw a couple years ago in my vlogs, I grew quite a few okra plants that one year. 2018, I think it was. I grew 70 or 80 plants. It might have been 80 some okra plants. I don't even remember now. I've still got some canned in the house I need to eat. And then I can start canning some of these. And I've still got some empty mason jars that I can use. And I need to learn how to, some kind of recipe I can can a squash with. I might just, well, I don't know. There might be some special recipe I can use for squash. Kind of like pickling okra, or I don't know much about this, if you can't tell. So I'll update you as I go. So maybe somebody can learn from my mistakes.